Your team deserves a hero. Let's face it, if endless courses and social media reels and books had all the info you needed to make the impact that you know you want to make, you'd be making it already. Now, Cohort 5 of The Forge is already underway, but there's still time to join. Go to my website at badassagile.com to find out more or contact me directly at chris@badassagile.com. This is your last chance to register at this price, so make sure you sign up today. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Badass Unscripted. Hope this finds you well. I have to bring a message to you. There's something I got to say one more time. And it's about education. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Scrum Masters milling about right now, talking about the importance of getting certified, getting SAFe certified, getting Scrum certified, getting some kind of bundle of certifications. And the justifications are, well, how can you be a practitioner if you're not learned and studied in the art and science of agility? But that, my friends, is an overblown oversimplification of how things actually work. Stick with me, because I'm going to explain this. This is a myth that has been sold to you. Make no mistake, because I come from the certification industry decades ago. Certification in education, even education in universities, is a business. If they can't make money, they'll shut their doors. They have shareholders and stakeholders just like any other for-profit business. And hey, I sell education too. I run The Forge and The Forge Professional. And I don't sell certifications, although if you want me to certify you, sure, I'll rubber stamp you if you want. But that rubber stamp had better mean something. It had better mean you have been through the fire. You've done the work. You see, now that's the difference. Education versus experience, two very different things. And I would say immersion is probably the most important of the bunch. Here's what I mean. You can study gravity all you like. We can experiment with it. We can come to understand it better, how it behaves, where are its limits, when does it change, when is it the same? Does it act on everything or only on some things? It's only through experimentation and learning and study that we come to understand how gravity works. That understanding helps us predict what it might do in a future situation. It's not certain, but it helps us predict it. What it doesn't do is allow us to generate new gravity, and it doesn't allow us to circumvent or shut off gravity. The best we can hope for is learn really cool methods for pushing against it, for propelling ourselves up in the air, away from the ground, away from the pull, but we can't switch it off. So the study of something does not mean that we can either create or destroy it. If we're very, very lucky, we might be able to manage it. So you see, education is the study of and the understanding of gravity, but it is not the cause of gravity. Gravity exists all on its own. We just showed up and said, that's funny. I wonder why this works. Likewise, and therefore, education is the study of leadership and effectiveness. It is not the cause of it. Did you get it? Education is the study of agility. It is not the cause of it. But schools would have you believe that you can't practice, you can't do it, you can't possibly know it and have intimate knowledge of it unless you have studied it. That, my friends, is a falsehood propagated by the education and certification industries. Leaders don't graduate. They arise. They emerge. They erupt. They take flight. They choose to accept the call, either because of their circumstances, their experiences, their passions, their emotion, their upbringing. For whatever reason, true leaders arise. They don't necessarily have to be born with a certain set of skills, and they certainly can't go to school to learn them. They must be tested in fire. Many of you will think that's hypocrisy, but you're comparing leadership and agility. You're comparing success to things like medicine or law, where you must understand the human-built rules and observations and strategies and techniques that allow you to do a job in such a way that you preserve and protect human life, human safety, human dignity, etc., etc., etc. But what we're doing here is not brain surgery. It's not understanding the complexities of man-made laws. It is understanding the complexity of human nature, human desire, human motivation. So you'd be better off getting yourself certified in something like psychology or therapy. But that's really not where we spend the most of our time. To be honest, the Agile principles and Scrum, in fact, leadership itself, are based on a very, very small set of truths. In the Forge, I believe, the most effective way to create leaders and Agilists is to immerse them in situations where they must be visionary and intentional. They must understand their service, their unique voice. Then they must learn the art of doing discipline-focused work. And there's 100 different ways that you can do that, but we must address and embrace the idea of commitment, making promises and keeping them. Then we have to learn how we behave as human beings when we're up against the wall. When things get difficult, we must be gritty and resilient, and then we must be on a continuous and productive mastery path. Cut out all the BS, and what's left behind is an effective system to immerse you, to discover through doing what leadership is, what kind of leader you are, what Agile is, and how to help other people find it, your teammates, your clients, and so on. But beware the mythology that to study a thing is to master it, much less to be the source of it, to create it, because that simply isn't true. The sooner you can let go of the analogy between a scrum master and a doctor, or a lawyer, or a nurse, or a teacher, or an auto mechanic, the sooner you can get down to the business of gaining the experience and being comfortable with the immersion into the world of leadership, excellence, service, high performance, and delivering uncommon outcomes. I hope this one inspired you. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Badass Agile, on Twitter at Badass_Agile, and at worldwideweb.badassagile.com. Don't forget to check out my new premium podcast for those of you called to create something bigger, to be a truly agile entrepreneur. It's called the Badass Agile Entrepreneur Podcast, and you can find it at learning.fusechamber.com or in the links in the show notes below. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, stay badass.